Most beginner riders find some confidence and comfort if they can get both feet flat on the ground. I guess they feel a little bit more stable in case they lose their balance. So Kako begged me to do this video, and because he is a dear friend of mine, I obliged. Here are the top 10 bikes for short riders from behind the desk. Cruisers and bobbers are typically friendly to the vertically challenged. One would probably be able to flat-foot these bikes because they're always inherently built with a low seat height for that low slung and relaxed riding position. The Indian Scout 60 is powered by a blacked-out liquid-cooled V-twin 999C engine capable of churning out 78 horsepower and 89 Nm of torque with a commanding growl. The bike takes design cues from the original Scout from the 1920s, when they fiercely competed with Harley-Davidson in flat-track races. The new Scout 60 perfectly blends its iconic look with modern tech in a comfortable cruiser package. With a seat height of 642 millimeters, it makes it accessible to any rider no matter your height. Now the price is a different story, as it starts at 865,000 Philippine pesos. If you want the same cruiser feel but at a more affordable price, consider the Rebel 500. Introduced just a few years ago, the bike follows the same classic look of a low-slung cruiser and a blacked-out engine and round headlights for the classic look. It's powered by a parallel twin 473cc engine, punching out 46 horsepower and 43 Nm of torque, which gives you more than enough power for city cruising or the quick getaway outside the city. With a seat height of only 691 millimeters, it's just a little bit higher than the Indian Scout. However, there is a big difference in the price tag, as this starts at 375,000 Philippine pesos. A prime candidate for most beginner motorcyclists shortlist. The Honda CB650R is considered to be part of Honda's Neo Sports Cafe revolution, which gives it a more futuristic styling cue instead of making it look like an old cafe racer. It is powered by a 649cc liquid-cooled inline 4-cylinder engine capable of 93 horsepower and 64 Nm of torque. While the seat height is a little bit on our threshold for being a bike suitable for shorter riders, 805 millimeters can still allow your feet to be planted on the ground while at a stop. The CB650R is priced at 501,000 Philippine pesos. The KTM 390 Duke is the naked version of their RC390 sport bike. Considered the corner rocket by KTM, the 390 Duke is powered by a 373cc engine churning out 43 horsepower and 37 Nm of torque. The 390 Duke is loaded with so much tech and features, including a supermoto mode that disengages the rear ABS for drifting around corners. With its price tag of only 289,000 Philippine pesos, you get a motorcycle that can give you loads of fun. Its seat height of only 787 millimeters makes it much lower than the CB650R, further proving that excitement comes in all sizes. The GSX-R 1000 is one of Suzuki's prime offerings for its sport bike range, and it has loads of power to make you own the racetrack. With still a reachable seat height of only 810 millimeters for knee-dragging corners if you have the skills for it. It is powered by a 999cc liquid-cooled inline 4-cylinder engine, churning out a healthy 199 horsepower and 118 Nm of torque. It also has selectable riding modes for different power output levels. The GSX-R 1000 starts at 965,000 Philippine pesos. Next up, we have the Kawasaki Ninja 400. This smaller package from Kawasaki's successful Ninja Sport range will give you loads of fun around the track or on the road with its 399cc liquid-cooled 4-stroke dual overhead cam engine that can deliver up to 49 horsepower and 38 Nm of torque. With a much lower seat height of only 784 millimeters, laying your feet on the ground is much easier than that with the GSX-R 1000. With only about a third of its price at 315,000 Philippine pesos, helping ensure that your wallet doesn't get the short end of the stick. Let's move over to the adventure segment. Now, typically adventure bikes are a little bit on the taller side, but these two choices are a little bit more approachable. The Triumph Tiger 900 is the British marquee's attempt to set a new standard for adventure motorcycles, and it looks absolutely amazing. It is loaded with so much tech and features to give you comfort for those long adventure rides. It is powered by a liquid-cooled 888cc dual overhead cam gasoline engine that can churn out a maximum output of 94 horsepower and 87 newton-meters of torque. With a seat height of 810 millimeters, it matches that of a typical sport bike's height. The Triumph Tiger starts at 990,000 Philippine pesos. Next up, we have the Royal Enfield Himalayan, a motorcycle capable of traveling through the roughest terrain from the highest motorable road in Kardongla, India, powered by a 411cc single-cylinder engine capable of an output of 24 horsepower and 32 newton-meters of torque. Its seat height is pretty friendly at 800 millimeters, and it also does have a very friendly price tag, starting at 299,000 Philippine pesos. Now, I've taken this bike on some trails here in the Philippines and it handled it absolutely perfectly. And I've also taken the Himalayan on, well, literally the Himalayas. And trust me when I say, this bike can handle anything you throw at it. Let's move over to one of my favorite segments of them all, the classics. The Triumph Street Twin is the British brand's most affordable motorcycle from the Bonneville range. With the same iconic classic design made famous by Hollywood actors such as Marlon Brando, James Dean, and Steve McQueen. The Triumph Street Triple is a motorcycle you'll keep for a very long time. Powered by a 900cc liquid-cooled single overhead cam parallel twin engine, the Street Twin can churn up 65 horsepower and 80 newton-meters of torque, made it to a 5-speed manual transmission. With a very comfortable seat height of only 749 millimeters, reaching the ground wouldn't be a problem with the Street Twin. And its price tag starts at 670,000 Philippine pesos. Now, the Kawasaki W800 might be the right bike for you. The original design of the Kawasaki W Series motorcycle was made under a license agreement with BSA Motorcycles, another famous and iconic British motorcycle back in the 60s. The Kawasaki W800 is powered by an air-cooled 4-stroke single overhead cam 773cc gasoline engine that can punch out a maximum output of 48 horsepower and 60 newton-meters of torque. With a seat height of only 787 millimeters, it is only slightly higher than that of the Triumph Street Twin. However, it is priced more affordably at only 535,000 Philippine pesos. Well, folks, there you have it. The short list for motorcycles that Kakoterona would be comfortable using riding around in the metro or a little bit beyond. Now, for more information about those bikes and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. This has been Gene Rufino from Behind the Desk.